everybody, and welcome to our first annual spooky movie review night. I'm Morgan, that's Luke, and that's Dreaded, and we're your hosts of the Wannabes podcast.
Hi.
Hey guys,
How
hey
we
guys.
doing?
Doing all right. Well, exciting announcement for our chat here on Twitch. If you head on over to the Wannabes podcast and YouTube, you will also see that we are streaming live on YouTube. First time ever. We are now going to be streaming for the foreseeable future on both platforms at the same time. So if for whatever reason you don't have access to your Twitch, you can hang out with us over on YouTube as well. So we're
might be a
super
little
excited.
bit easier too for some folks.
That is true.
It might be for some, yeah.
YouTube is a bit more accessible anyways than Twitch is, so there you go.
So yeah, super exciting. That was something we've been wanting to do for a long while now. So finally was able to get it done.
Hell yeah.
Kudos to you guys.
Yeah, also, speaking of additional things, shout out to Dreaded here, who's been editing videos for TikTok, and we officially have our first TikTok live on
TikTok.
TikTok.
Don't worry, there'll be more to come, ladies and gentlemen. There will be more to
Yeah,
come.
we have our humble beginnings, but you know, we gotta start somewhere, right?
The
Absolutely.
humbliest. That's all right. Keeping at it. Come a long way.
Indeed.
Good job.
And then just another reminder to everybody in our chats that we are also available on Spotify. So you can listen to all of our podcasts on the go once they're published on Spotify.
Hell yeah.
And in chat on our TikTok is the link to our TikTok thing if you want to go give us a follow.
That's another big thing for us too that we've been working on. So fantastic.
Yes. So all the great news. all of the developments here.
And speaking of great news, I suppose, how about we hop into some news as well?
Yeah, let's dive into that before we get into our 2012 movie review.
All right.
It's
So
weird how you said that. That was weird.
yeah.
Huh?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. All right, so we're gonna start a little lesser here. So this is some interesting news going further for the possible future of the Sonic movies. Is that actress Sarah Paulson says she wants to voice Rouge the Bat in a Sonic movie in the future. How do we feel about that casting? How would you guys like to hear Sarah Paulson's voice in Big Titty Bat Lady?
Who the fuck is this?
She's really good. She's good in everything that she's in. So I think that's gonna lend more credit to this franchise. Which I mean, just given the fucking voice actors that we have right now is pretty incredible playing these characters. Like who would have thought? Who'd have thought you get Idris Elba and Keanu Reeves in a freaking Sonic movie?
I mean, she has a pretty broad range. Now that I looked her up and I've refreshed my brain of who the hell she is.
Most famous for American Horror Story.
Yeah,
that is true.
She has a really wide range of emotions she can act. So, you know, I think that'd actually be a really intriguing role for her.
That's just cool that she knows enough about the world and is, I don't know, maybe she's actually a fan. Like Jamie Lee Curtis is a fan of One Piece and stuff like that. Like they're fans too. You know, they can be into this stuff, and that's cool that that they're comfortable now to be able to come out and just be like, yeah, I want to be in the Sonic movie. That's awesome.
Yeah. Very much okay with that. I especially, you know, when people come out and say these things like, "Hey, these people are a fan of these things." Heck yeah, I love that.
You know, to be honest though, just for the franchise in general, I think it would be nice to see them start to go away from the human characters and take place more in like the Sonic realm, and then just, you know, you just get your whole CGI movies. I don't see the point of continuing to bring in these CGI characters and have them continue to be in our world, is all I'm getting at.
I mean, Sonic's world has all. I mean, a lot of stuff in the Sonic franchise and stuff has a lot of the time taking place in a human-like world.
I played Sonic 06, I remember.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's not that surprising to see that they're still in a human-like world. You know, sites that we're familiar with and stuff like that. So, these characters definitely do have enough character and charisma to carry a film without human characters. Hell, you all right, bro?
Any other time, I tap this thing and I mute. Now today, when I really needed to mute, it's not muting.
Oh, damn.
Come on now. No.
I hear you still. Anyway. But I will say, though, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer does seem to, I mean, have a lot more of the Sonic characters than I would say human characters, other than probably Robotnik, honestly. Heck, we only see James Marsden and Tika Sumter maybe once or twice in that entire trailer.
And that right there is a reason why you should watch the stream. Oh my god. All right, I'm good.
Like a bloody frames, it surges like a bloody frames. I'm just singing JoJo songs because it's in my head. That just
Alright.
came out of nowhere.
So do we think that this franchise is even going to keep going after 3?
Well, truth be told, I mean, I feel like it's still got some good traction here. I see that a lot of people are excited for 3 because the homie Shadow's gonna be in it.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I mean, there are a lot of stories in the Sonic world that can still be told, actually, that I think have their fans. Like, heck, we could get maybe Sonic Riders at an adaptation. Shadow could get a spinoff, and why that face? Sonic Riders is lit.
Sonic Riders is not worth a fucking full length movie. Absolutely not.
So-
It could be.
Absolutely not.
I
First of all,
almost wonder-
logically speaking, it makes 0 sense. Sonic is supposed to be the fastest person on the planet. He's riding a fucking skateboard. Get out of here.
So I almost wonder though, like, would we actually get another film, or would we officially get like maybe a series like we saw Knuckles happen? Like maybe we would get it back into a TV show.
That could always happen. It's just weird to think that everything has to be a franchise and has to have an extended universe and
Right.
everything like that. But I'm with you. Now that you brought that up, this will probably go more into the route of TV shows. And then yeah, she'll just be another machine that keeps it chucking.
Yeah.
I will definitely say if they decide to go the TV show route, they'll have to do a better job than they did with Knuckles.
I have not seen Knuckles
Yeah,
yet.
I
but
mean,
the
I
movies
had a
are
fun
good.
time
Like,
with Knuckles, but Knuckles is definitely like meant to be a limited series, like
Yeah.
one season and that's it.
I just want to give this whole franchise credit for making good movies. Like we do
Yeah,
enjoy these
no,
movies.
for
They are
sure.
good.
You guys remember the days where I was expecting a horrible first Sonic movie and it disappointed me by being good?
They had a shot. There was a shot that it was going to be bad. You know?
Yeah, there
I
was.
remember that design.
Oh, I think we
Yeah.
all do. I still kind of wonder what would the OG designs of other characters been if they stuck with that OG one.
I'm glad they got their heads out of their asses and rectified that mistake. And now we have this very wonderful burgeoning film franchise. It's great. And as you were saying earlier, everybody that's in it, the talent of actors, both voice and live action actors are really good. Everybody understands what this is. Everybody's having a good time, and it's showing on the screen. So yeah, for sure. Sarah Paulson wants to play fucking Rouge. Bring it.
I wonder if they can also continue what other people will voice certain characters. Like, who do we want to see voice Amy?
I don't want to get that involved. I really don't. I hate the characters outside of the ones that are about to be in this movie. Shadow is as far as I want to go. I think the characters after that just get more lame and more annoying. Like I don't care about Amy. I don't care about Rouge. I don't care about the big bunny looking motherfucker. Like
Big
I don't
cat.
I don't care. I don't care. There's an armadillo and a flying squirrel. Like I don't care.
Wow, damn.
Yeah, no, my love for this franchise only goes so far. I love Sonic, I love Tails, Knuckles is cool, Shadow is a little too on the nose for me, but I dig him. And then after that, it's just all nonsense. So once that happens, then it'll probably just be like, they're not for me movies, and that's fine.
Very well then. What about you, Morgan? How do you feel if other characters were voiced by somebody? Like, who would you like me want to see
Honestly,
maybe join the franchise?
I don't even know because I don't know what characters I actually remember. To be honest with you, like it's been so long since I've consumed anything Sonic that wasn't the current Sonic stuff. I don't think I could give that answer a good answer without actually just trying to pull something out of my ass for the sake of answering it. I'd much rather
Damn.
go look back at everything that we've watched because my memory of like kind of like where Luke is at. Obviously, Luke knows the other characters, but my memory of Sonic is the characters that we are getting or already have in Sonic 3, and that's it.
Damn. I am definitely the biggest Sonic fan here, probably.
Yeah,
I'll say this.
Archie comics.
Eventually, my parents got rid of cable, y'all, or got rid of like DirecTV, and I couldn't watch it. So there's an era of life where I no longer had like the freaking Nickelodeon or the Cartoon Networks and so on and so forth for being able to
I
consume
mean, I
this
know
stuff.
Sonic from the games, but
Yeah, and see, I didn't get to play a lot of the games.
I wonder who do I want to voice Amy Rose? Who my fan casting will be? I don't know. I will say for Metal Sonic, I think I low-key want
look that-
James
What
Spader.
is it? Amy Rose, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what's that?
I don't know, I've recently watched Age of Ultron again, so James
it's
Spader as Ultron was on the
this
brain.
one.
he was good at that.
Amy Rose.
Yeah, it's just getting a little too ridiculous for me after that point. But now if Sarah Paulson wants to do it, that's cool.
Very well then. All right then. Well, we'll end that news story there. Just lurking while I play League. Thank you. We
Well,
appreciate the lurk.
Yeah, thank you
Appreciate
for
the
the
lurk.
lurk.
All right. For our next bit of news, let's just have a moment of silence here because famed actress Maggie Smith has sadly passed at the age of 89. If you don't know who Maggie Smith is, you'll remember her best probably as Professor McGonagall in the Harry Potter franchise.
And you also would know her from Downton Abbey, was one of her most recent bigger roles.
Gotcha. Now, I don't have a
Oh,
wand, but I do have a toothbrush, so something up.
I love her in Hook.
Moment of silence over.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Rest-
as I said in like my social posts about it, Maggie, I absolutely love and adored Maggie Smith, and it was really sad. That was one of the few that like I knew would hit me, and I did get I got misty. Not gonna lie, when I got the news last week, but Professor McGonagall was very much helped shape who I was a young girl. Like McGonagall and Hermione, I definitely like looked as like little icons for little old me growing up with the Harry Potter franchise. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that does not surprise anyone.
Never mind. We'll talk about that another day.
Okay.
So, next thing I want to bring up is... Oh, wait. Which one of these I want to bring up next? Let's talk about the funny one to me, I guess, because it's a meme and it's, I'm pretty sure baby oil sales have gone up quite high lately. So, I'm pretty sure we all know about Mr. P. Diddy and the shit he's involved in at the moment.
P. Diddles.
Yeah, the diddler.
Oh no.
Everyone hit that Leland Shuffle from RDC. So, according to Discussing Films on Twitter, a Diddy documentary is already in the works at Netflix.
And who's producing it?
Executive produced by 50 Cent. Known for dancing in the club, for being probably one of the most pettiest people in the industry, actually, which honestly does not surprise me. Although I do not have any knowledge of any form of beef or relationship between 50 Cent and Diddy, actually. But again, I'm honestly not surprised.
That's why I think this is both hilarious and I'm intrigued by it, because if 50 is producing it, then like it's probably gonna be a pretty hardcore, pretty like fuck Diddy type of documentary, which it absolutely should be.
Sure.
There's the Vince McMahon one out right now, and there's a lot of there's actually, for me personally, I don't think it does enough to really paint Vince McMahon in like a negative light. I think it should do more of that because the dude is super screwed up. But I can tell that because they even say it in the documentary, a lot of these interviews and things that you're going to see were done before the allegations came out. So it definitely feels like they were making something that was just supposed to be a documentary, and then shitty stuff happened and they kind of pivoted. All the shitty stuff's out. There's no things that they've done already. So when they start to put things together for this, and 50 Cent is behind it, it's probably just going to be all like,
fuck you,
middle
Diddy.
fingers to Diddy.
I can see it. 50 Cent is one of the most pettiest dudes in the industry.
Oh yeah,
he's also pretty real. He's actually pretty real. I'll give him that too, honestly.
50?
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, cool.
I'll watch it because, there's a lot that has come out with it, but it's been so much that I can't even focus on, like, wait, when did this happen? What about the last thing I just heard about with this whole case? Like, what is going on? What's actually in those baby oil things? I heard it wasn't even baby oil. And where was he getting them from? Because apparently he didn't buy it from Costco. Because Costco even came on and said, we don't sell baby oil.
Costco doesn't sell baby oil since when?
According to Costco, they don't. After that came out, where Diddy's lawyer, I think, said that he mass bought it from Costco.
That would be a hell of like a tie-in. Costco.
I can definitely tell you now that, I've been seeing memes and pranks of a lot of people buying a whole lot of baby oil.
Dead.
Also, I'm scared I'm also very scared to read the list of maybe people involved in these parties.
Yeah, the list is going to be wild. And I mean, honestly, this is a really hot story out there, so I'm not really surprised that someone's hopping on trying to immediately start a documentary. They want to hop on while the story's hot, make the money
God, I
while it's
love the
hot.
way you say documentary.
What? What?
No, we do this every time you say the word documentary, and it makes me laugh.
What do I say it weird?
No,
I didn't notice.
no, you say it like how Morgan says it. That's all that matters.
Say documentary.
Documentary.
That's not how she says it. She goes
Oh.
documentary every
Oh,
time.
documentary.
Yeah, that's documentary. No, you say documentary. That's how
Yeah,
you say it.
documentary.
Yeah,
What's weird about it?
Documentary.
I call it a documentary, but I mean,
I'm gonna start calling it a doc-ock.
that'd be great. I'm
I mean,
sorry, I wasn't trying
It's
to do
fine.
anything.
In quick type,
Catch
I
me
always
apart every time.
shorten it to docu.
But
So
yeah, so how you feel about it? Are you excited to watch this? Do you even care?
no.
Look, I
Yeah, that's-
actually low-key do, because I just kind of do want to know all the deets of everything, honestly, because these kind of no, the reason I'm actually mostly intrigued about this is literally because of a Cat Williams interview that happened at the beginning of 2024, where
Yeah.
he practically just predicted, like, listen, shit's going down, is gonna go down in the industry, like lies are gonna get exposed, and like I think Cat has so far not been wrong, because some shit has come out and shit has happened, and now with this whole Diddy thing and how deep it runs, it seems like I'm like, yeah, I'm glad my ambitions from going to Hollywood to be a director or anything like that changed completely, because I hate Hollywood nowadays.
Yeah, and I definitely think this needed to happen, you know, because it's one of those things where like you figure yeah, that was happening, and then you find out, oh no, it really was, and you go, oh, shit.
Also, I can't wait to see who on that list am I not allowed to like anymore.
Yeah, that's a bummer too. It's gonna be a lot of people.
It's going, yep.
Well, yeah, cool. 50's gonna get after it. Awesome.
All right, Fitty. All right, and here's our last bit of news. Us three sort of did talk about this last night when we were hanging out, but according to a few reports, actually, Andy Serkis will reportedly play Null in Venom: The Last Dance, and he is also set to appear in other projects after.
I hope so. I love Andy
Same.
Serkis so much. He's, by the way, guys, I just found out today he's gonna be at the Motor City Comic Con. So, yeah.
Yeah, you trying to go?
Oh fuck yeah, bud. We also have Ray Parks, who's Darth Maul.
And Toad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. That's right. Robert England's gonna be there for Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah. No.
Oh shit!
We're good.
Yup.
Yeah.
Yo, you know, I think my boy Akeem talked about trying to get a few of us in that crew to go to the Comic Con this year as well. Anyway,
Yeah,
Well,
this
I
might
hope
be a thing.
I
I'll
can make
be
it.
there. I'll be there.
I'm gonna start playing.
I get home on the 7th from enjoying Halloween in Arizona, and then hopping right over to that.
Hell yeah.
Sounds like a hell of a day. But yeah, Andy Serkis playing Null. So Morgan, what? How do you feel about it? You don't know anything
I
about this
don't
character.
know shit about the character, but it is Andy Serkis, so I am on board.
I feel the same way, and I do know about the character, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. It's just say it now. Everybody can remember it here, now, and forever, and I will definitely say it again. Andy Serkis is in like a very high tier for me for actors. Fucking love that guy. I would love the chance to work with him one day.
He's a fearless dude. It's crazy. He deserves some more credit for some of the shit that he's done.
100%.
I love the dude as well. I love him as Caesar. He's great as Gollum. I love his take on the Jungle Book movie. His directing in Venom: Let There Be Carnage. Actually,
Yes.
hey, hold on. I like it's more the filmmaking aspect of it, because there's a lot of filmmaking stuff that I really appreciate in Venom: Let There Be Carnage. Actually,
And he's
That's what I'm
really
getting
really
at.
good at the filmmaking side of things. I think Let There Be Carnage was what it is because of the studio and the fact that they wouldn't grow a pair and let it be
Mhm.
R-rated.
But the way it looked, the way it's shot, color grading, cinematography, aspect ratio, and even the special effects, like, it looks really good. Like, it really does, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it does feel a little bit grittier as compared to the first one. I do gotta admit. Yeah, if he plays Null, I'm cool with it. I'm not gonna lie, I had read somewhere that maybe Norman Reedus was gonna do it. That honestly would probably be my pick. But I don't have a problem with Andy Serkis. So this will probably be more of a mocap situation, or hopefully they put him in like some really.
I was gonna
sweet
say,
makeup. But either
is
way,
it
I can
is
get
it
down with
NULL?
KNULL.
Or that's what I meant. Okay, I just wanted to see what the character looked like.
Canol.
Um,
Badass character. I had mentioned this before. He is a phenomenal character, phenomenal villain. He is definitely a world ender, and it is a bummer that I'm gonna get this really watered down version, like I have with everything else in this fucking film franchise. Yeah, no, because the whole story with him is when he comes to Earth, he is like reclaiming symbiotes and stuff, and he can pretty much control anybody that's had a symbiote, which in the Marvel universe is everybody. Um, so yeah, it's a really, really awesome storyline. I'm excited to get a watered down version.
I'm just intrigued to see how he's done live. I see if it's gonna be bad, if it's gonna be decent at least. I'm hoping for at least decent because these movies have been they haven't always been the best with some of the representation. Like
It's not gonna be what I want. That's why I keep saying watered down version. I got a watered down version of Carnage. I've already got a watered down version of Venom. Now I'm gonna watered down version of Null. Does it work in this context, in this universe? Sure. But it's not what I want. So it is what it is. I'm still gonna watch it because at least I get to see it. And they put enough thought into it to give me a baseline for what the character is. Because Carnage's intro in Let There Be Carnage is pretty sick. He's awesome in those scenes. I'll probably get much of the same of this, but by the time the movie's over, I'm gonna be like, cool.
I'm just expecting the same old stupid, but just enjoyably stupid from this movie. We'll see how it goes.
And that's where me and you differ.
I know. All right, but that's all the news I've got. Other than, since we're on the topic of Venom, Tom Hardy says this will be his last portrayal as Venom.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you. You did.
You did good. You had fun. You had fun. We had fun with this. Even if you don't like it, it's watered down. You can't deny we had fun at least either liking some stuff or making fun of some stuff. Come on, man.
Yeah, once everything is over and I get this film, because I always see the potential, and then they give me something like, oh, you're gonna get Carnage. I go, all right, cool. So you have a chance to save it. And then I see the movie, and I go, ah, shit. And now I'm getting Null, and now I'm like, I know exactly what you're gonna do, so I'm ready for it. So maybe I'll enjoy it more.
Funny enough, that's why I like Let There Be Carnage, because I watched the first Venom, and I'm like, the first one was stupid. I mean, it wasn't like as good as it could have been. I mean, I was expecting it to be bad from the very first trailer, but then more trailers come like, okay, this doesn't look good, but it looks at least fun. And like, and I was like, all right, it was exactly what I thought. It was dumb, but it was fun. It had some cool shit. And once Let There Be Carnage, going like, I had my hesitations with some stuff.
Yeah. Yep. So same deal. That's cool. If it's Andy Serkis, awesome. If it's somebody else, cool.
Wait, hold on. I might have one last bit of news that I just found on Twitter from Total Film, actually. I don't know how likely this is, but someone just said Sherlock can return one day. Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I did not watch that show.
That is one of my favorite shows ever.
I don't want that show. I want Downey Jr. and
those movies.
Sherlock 3. I want that. That's what I want.
Looks like Robert's too busy with being Dr. Doom.
Well, now, but that's what I want.
Gotcha. All right, that's the last bit of news. All right, let's move on to the actual review of Dun Dun Dun!
Sinister.
Michael Jackson edition.
All right, so we'll dive into...
This is Morgan's first time watching this movie, right?
Yeah, it was. I had never seen this movie before.
All right, go ahead. This will be fun.
I'm happy we're starting it off also with, like, supernatural horror, because, like, psychological horror and supernatural horror are, like, my favorite types of horror. But anyway, talking a little bit of budget and box office. So runtime for this film is 109 minutes, and it was released in the United States on October 12th in 2012. The budget for this film back then was $3 million. And then let me scroll down.
I'm sorry, how much did it make?
So the budget was $3 million.
Yep.
As for our box office, let me take a look.
This was a pretty good hit, wasn't it?
Yes, it
yeah,
was.
no, it made good money.
As opposed to $3 million, didn't it? What did it pull, like 50?
80.
Okay, apparently it doesn't have like the full rundown of how it went. So yeah, it was 87.7 million for box office.
That's
Sorry.
Paul?
normally I have a whole thing like about its reception and everything in the thing, but oh well.
No, that's an impressive fucking haul.
No, it's a massive haul, and I know that by March of 2013 the sequel was announced, and
That movie's
I've heard that one's rough.
It's one of those movies. I'll just give this a mini review. It's one of those movies that it's very much not as good as the OG, but it has some interesting ideas, and I just like it's not good, but I don't dislike it, if that makes sense. It's just like I'll put it on just because.
But
I'm
for
gonna get more into
for
that with you
just
guys
the
later.
just for the change, so 2012 was 3 million in budget. The 2015 Sinister 2 ended up being 10 million in budget.
Yeah. Not shows, because they went in a completely different direction with it as opposed to this movie. And that's usually what happens with successful low budget horror films. It just kind of becomes formulaic and shit. But we're not talking about the sequel, we're talking about this one.
Yeah, so yeah, that was its budget. It hauled in a good chunk, especially for being back in 2012.
Yes, it did. And after watching it again, I think this movie is totally overhyped.
Really?
Yeah. Look, I didn't particularly I like it. I love the way it's shot. I love the atmosphere. The fact that Daniel was sitting next to me being like, it's so dark didn't help either, because I was like, damn, actually, yeah, this movie is fucking dark.
Now you guys get to experience what I experience watching movies with Dan.
Yeah, he's a buzzkill. He's got to go somewhere.
No, okay, he's usually not.
He's not allowed to be in the room when movies are on. He's a fucking buzzkill, you know. And it's like, all right, we don't want to watch
funny.
it.
He's the most critical about horror films.
He's
like
got
me.
a piece.
Like me. Hey, you just said he wasn't wrong. He could be his own little movie critic if he wanted to be.
So now I'm even saying again why this movie is overrated to me, because I can't really see what the fuck's going on that much. And but it's because the movie's made for $3 million, and like there isn't a whole lot of practical effects. I mean, there really isn't. Even the by the way, this movie came out in 2012, so if I'm spoiling anything for you, get the fuck over it. Even with like the found footage films, the reels that he finds in the movie, fucking they don't really have any violence in them. Everybody dies in ways that I don't really have to see the deaths on camera, besides the family getting hung. But there's no blood, there's no real practical effects. The ghost kids, their makeup, watching it now, don't really look all that impressive. And I fucking hate the demon's name. Like Bagul, I get it. I understand the lore behind it, but that's a terrible fucking name for a demon. And it's always made me laugh, like when Vincent D'Onofrio comes on screen, because you don't know anything about this demon going in the movie. They're very good about building up the suspense for the demon and then the reveal, but then Vincent D'Onofrio goes, oh yeah, it's the pagan god Bagul, and I fucking laugh every time. Like, that's a terrible name. I can't take him seriously anymore. So all this tension, all this atmosphere for the first, like, I don't know, half to 3/4 until Vincent D'Onofrio's character shows up and tells me the name, like, I'm with it. And then he tells me the name, and I go, I don't fucking think, I don't care.
You know, like, the name doesn't bother me, but what bothers me is how little we get Vincent's character. I felt like there could have been some really... I wasn't expecting, I guess, the character to run away. For Ethan Hawke's character, our lead character, to take his family and run from the house. I understand why. I understand it was a part of the plot device as well. But
I like the movie is Ethan Hawke's character. The whole idea that he says it in the beginning. He's chasing the dragon. He's like a fucking heroin addict or something. Like he had success, has been working out for him. So the whole thing is like, he even says, I want to do this one more time, just one more success, and then I'm done. And then by the time, you know, we get to the end where him and his family die, it's like, yeah, you made the right move, but you made the right move too late. So if that storyline isn't in this movie because it's not in the second one, and you're trying to just rely on Bagul, I don't think it works. And this movie holds up because of Ethan Hawke's performance in this film.
Sure. He definitely has the strongest performance. I don't know what it was the entire time with his wife, Juliet. Juliet. I don't know how I like the character, but sometimes it's the way she delivers her lines where I'm just like, yeah, I feel that she's acting and not that it's just feeling natural.
Her character is useless. I find 100%. It very hard to believe that in a lot of the scenes where
100%.
Like the horror is going on, she's just sleeping through it all. Fuck out of here.
Sometimes some people are just heavy sleepers, man. You just go.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. You know.
Listen,
The
They're
whole
gonna be.
scene where he ends up sleeping on the couch. I'm like, you went through all that and you didn't wake up one family member. Fuck out of here.
Yeah. At first, I thought he was gonna fall through the attic, and no one was gonna wake up.
Well,
Like,
the house was empty when he did that, right?
no, when he fell through the attic, that was in the middle of the night again.
Oh.
The person who woke up apparently was wifey, and then
Yeah,
they
and
called
she was in
the
her nightgown
paramedic.
and everything, and she called the paramedics and whatnot.
Well, that makes that scene even dumber now. Thank you.
I'm just saying, some people just sleep through some shit. You know, somebody might fall through the attic, wake up a little bit, you okay, and just go right back to sleep.
And that's probably what she did. She's like, "Are you breathing? All right, cool. Good night."
Some
But
people-
yeah, those are my initial thoughts on this. I mean, you haven't seen this before, Morgan. How did you feel about it?
So, I liked the idea. I liked the premise. I almost, for me, it felt more, and I don't hate the idea going into like what I was about to say. The idea of it's almost like this murder mystery. I love that idea. I think that's really intriguing. It's really cool. And then you're mixing in the supernatural element. But most of the time, it didn't feel supernatural. It just felt like you had this really creepy dude, like being able to sneak into your house, right?
Mm.
And part of me was like, okay, this is meant to be like a demon. It's supposed to be like a, someone that like the dark side of the pagans can worship, which that was with a phrase I didn't completely have. Oh, the pagans worship them. No, not all pagans worship them. But anyway, that's just casting bad light on us pagans. Anyhow, anyway, the it was interesting because I was most of the movie I was just kind of waiting for the ramp up, and maybe again it was the whole twist of like I kind of see plots coming from a mile away, especially with horror. Nothing of this extremely surprised me, other than the fact that because he wanted to his next thing of fame so bad is that he actually left the house. I was expecting him to stick through it to the end. That was probably the only twist I didn't necessarily expect, but as soon as I also wasn't surprised by it either. Because when I went into watching this film, I didn't know there was a second one, so I didn't know they had made a sequel as well. And it's
Well, I argue that they shouldn't have, but I mean that's
sure, but like no, if I had gone in knowing that there was a sequel, I was probably like, oh yeah, he's gonna die. Like part of me was like, is he going to be the one to catch and end this demon, this creature? That's kind of like a part of me wanted it to go almost like Insidious style, where like no, he takes down this entity, right? So I guess that's kind of like for me there was like me I liked the idea, I liked the premise. I didn't hate like I liked that it was dark, but I didn't love how dark it was. Like I think the style it was nice, but at times like you were saying that Dan said, it was hard to see some shit that was going on. And I think for 3 billion you could have done a little bit more. You know, instead of 12 watts, can we just have the normal 60-watt bulbs in a couple areas, please?
I mean, I guess as far as like, I want to compliment the feel of the movie.
No, for sure. Like there is a vibe that it gives, and it gives it well. And I really like Ethan Hawke's performance.
Well, it's the mystery, like you were saying.
Yeah, yeah. I almost wish they had dived deeper into like him eventually. I feel like they wanted to, like this whole idea of him being an alcoholic because he's drinking because he's seeing
Well, it's because he's
some
a
of
writer.
the darkest shit, and he's a writer.
Writers drink.
Yeah, I know. It's the stereotype trope, 100%. But it could have been interesting, like to see, like, what if he fell into because of what he saw into a drunken stupor, and like then we see like this interesting double vision kind of side of things. Like, I think there was more plot points we could have continued with. I would have loved to have had a further plot with the son and his night terrors, and that he was seeing stuff of the dreams.
The kids were getting on my fucking nerves.
So the kids were I don't disagree with you. The kids were getting on my nerves, but they were getting on my nerves because they weren't being utilized. Like all of the cast except for Detective so and so, I didn't hate his character, didn't love him, but at least he was useful.
his name in the fucking movie too.
Yep.
That's what he's credited as.
Yep.
And he is the main character of Sinister 2, and he is still called a Deputy so does not get a name.
That
Can't
is
do it.
hilarious. But yeah, I feel like the mother and both the kids were really underutilized. So especially knowing that
It's not about them.
a child always goes missing, like the twist at the end made sense. I don't know, like I like the idea and I like the premise of the film. I did enjoy it, but there was constantly for me just like felt like it was missing something, or like I was waiting for it to ramp up a little higher and it didn't.
Mhm.
So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Okay. All right, then. I guess I'll be getting my thoughts of the film out there now that the newcomer and someone who's seen it but now kind of doesn't like it as much anymore.
Oh, dude, I'm just getting started, but yeah, it's
Of course you are. Yeah, I still really like this movie. I actually remember when it was coming out that I was really anticipated to watch this film, actually. Also, for side note, Sinister actually has one of my favorite posters, actually, ever, too.
Oh,
I love that poster.
Which poster?
It's just the main theatrical release one. You know, I believe it's Ashley just dragging her hand across the wall.
Oh, gotcha.
Blood leaking, and it makes Michael Jackson's face. If you don't like Bagul, just call him Michael Jackson. Is that better?
You're helping me though. Like this isn't a good villain. This isn't a good monster. You're saying he looks like Michael Jackson. I'm saying he's got a dumb name, and we're just laughing at this character. Go ahead.
I'm just making jokes. I'm just making jokes because I actually like Bagul.
Go ahead, please. You're saying he looks like Michael Jackson. Tell me how much you like him.
Okay. Well, I mean, I really like his design. I suppose I do low key like his design. He reminds me of his face kind of reminds me of a pumpkin, actually.
Yeah, no, that's fair. The forms thing was cool too. Like you don't pay enough attention to that, the fact that like the scorpion, which makes like when you first see it, it makes no sense, and then the snake too. But no, those are just Bagul forms. That's
and then
cool.
and then the dog.
Feels silly saying his name.
Yeah,
What's
there was
Boogie?
a horse we never got.
Actually, yeah, Mr. Boogie. Yeah, that actually works because the kids are writing it, and that's what they call him, which makes it a little more creepy. Like, who are you talking to? I'm talking to my imaginary friend, Mr. Boogie. That's it's the pagan god Bagul. Fuck off.
Like, obviously, it would have taken away from like that twist at the end that I already saw coming because of everything else that we heard about a missing child. But like, my whole thing is like, I almost would have preferred like, oh yeah, I was talking to my friend. Like instead of like, we get a moment with his daughter, with the girl that's missing, the most recent girl, and like, cool, great, creepy, love that. I want more of that. Make these kids matter more, or maybe like the son, like maybe he's trying to choose which child he goes with, and maybe that's part of like why the son's getting his night terrors, and we see it into a side of his night terror. Like there's just like other plot points that I would love to have to make this even creepier and to give this boogeyman his like like a stronger foothold and just an even deeper creep factor.
You know, funny enough, you say that because Sinister 2 actually kind of does that. It actually focuses on, I mean, we're just going to get into the sequel just a little bit, on two twin boys who are seeing Bagul, also ghost kids, who do we ever plan on reviewing Sinister 2, or are you guys talking about it?
Who knows, but I still don't want to do it tonight.
Yeah, we don't have to, but like what you're saying, Morgan, they kind of do that, actually. You're seeing two kids who are literally being they both see things. One kid is being more focused on, but you know, he has more sense, and then they go to the other kid actually because he's actually jealous that the other brother's getting the attention, actually.
Gotcha.
Not to mention too, like we do see a lot more Bagul in Sinister 2. I think it works for when we're at the kid's point of view, but when we're in Detective So-and-so's point of view, not I don't say not so much. It just doesn't feel right, if that makes sense. Because one of the things I really like about this movie is how little we actually do see Bagul, if you ask me. Yeah. Like the most we see him in is like, okay, we see him in the snuff films. Of course, he's watching and everything like that. Then of course he'll take the children. But when you see him in actual like quote unquote IRL, it's not super often actually. And I do like he's not very much always there. But I feel like you do definitely feel his presence, honestly, too. My actual favorite scene with him is when Ethan Hawke's character just looking through some police reports and stuff like that, and he has like a picture of him on his laptop, and he just looks at him.
Well, it's
Oh
And then
yeah,
it's
like how it moves, which
yeah, like
in that moment doesn't fucking make sense. But after you get the part where like he speaks with Vincent's character about how it is believed that he can basically hop between images
mhm.
and whatnot, that was really really cool to me because then some of like the creative made a lot of sense. The fact that we got to see um him move on the computer screen, or when he put up the photo looking out to where he sees Bagul in the bushes out in his backyard from the tape that he had, and he put the photo he printed on a thing, like was holding up and then looked out and saw him again. It's like it was almost like an immediate transfer from
Mhm.
the image out to the real world again. So yeah, I do like that, but I think that it would have hit even harder if that was explained sooner. I think that explanations of Bagul came too late in the film.
Funny enough, I actually feel the opposite. I actually kind of like that they didn't tell us that immediately because I mean, I'm not saying I was creeped out at it. I just thought it was kind of cool. Like, oh shit, he can do that. And then later it was like, oh, that's why he can do that. If we'd have known beforehand, I think we would have just always been expecting any time he was on screen anywhere or in a picture, we were just expecting him. But the fact that we don't know that's
That's fair.
why this happens kind of makes it a little more interesting, in my opinion, and feeling like, why is he always there? Especially when you're looking at a picture of him, or you just have a still image of him on your laptop, and like suddenly he just moved.
This movie's boring.
Why
I
is it
It's
boring?
Because nothing really happens, like he was just saying. It's really, I hadn't even thought about the darkness until Dan was a buzzkill about it. But the movie's really dark. I can't see that much, and there's because it is a slow burn movie. It really is. You know, you're getting all the information as Ethan Hawke's character gets all the information. Unless you're fucking Morgan and Daniel, and you fucking are just able to figure this shit out in 5 seconds. You guys are killers with that shit. Um, it's like straight savages. I'm not even kidding.
Well, at least you got to have already known the movie before we were saying what we were saying.
Right. No, that's true. That's true. But even
You got
still,
to see
like,
how our
there's
brains work.
a lot of, and I appreciate it from a filmmaking standpoint because Scott Derrickson is the director of this movie, correct?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Yes,
Okay,
it is.
Scott Derrickson obviously has an appreciation for old style filmmaking, so you see a
Mhm.
lot with the Super 8, and there's two different instances where all he does is sit at a desk. This is Ethan Hawke's character sits at a desk and edits Super 8 film for like 5 minutes. That's 10 minutes worth of movie where all he's doing is just fucking around with old film, right? Not to mention all the other stuff because he gives you the whole process of taking out the reel, editing it, putting it back in the reel, putting on the projector, feeding it through. Boom, he turns it on. This movie is 1 hour and 45 to 2 hours, I would imagine, and there's probably a good half hour of footage of just Ethan Hawke setting up a projector, and it's awesome. They do a really good job of presenting it to me in the movie to make it as exciting as it can be. But now, given the fact that I've seen this more than enough times, I'm just watching my man play with Super 8 film, and that's the scene. There's nothing else going on. That's it.
I'm okay with watching that because I like editing and stuff like that, so I find it interesting.
Well, the editing in the movie makes him editing very interesting, yeah. And they have him do it in the allotted like 10 minutes, like I was saying. But otherwise, if we were doing that in real life, it'd probably be like an hour or two. But he's definitely putting in his time into this investigation, which I do appreciate. I really do appreciate. But there's too many jump scares in this movie, which surprised me because I didn't remember there being that many jump scares. But there's quite a few,
Yeah.
and I don't think they've aged very well.
I'm
So
happy
that
there
kind of
weren't
bummed me out as
more.
well. That's the sequel.
Oh yeah, that is a sequel. I will.
So
I'd
I
say
just,
a few
I'm
of those
sorry.
jump scares. I'm sorry. A few of those jump scares I already just knew because it was one of those cases where you gotta say, hey, the trailer showed us some stuff. So there are some jump scares I knew were gonna come.
Sure.
Right.
But then there were some that I didn't know that were gonna come that I felt were the actual effective ones, in my opinion. Like the one where he's in the dark and the little girl like pops up. Like, okay, that one got me the first time because I didn't see that coming.
This movie is really good with the atmosphere and just the general feel of the movie, particularly with the Super 8s and stuff. I think we've got enough here. Enough just you know, I like feeling that there's something there instead of getting that stupid jump scare and being proved like, oh yeah, there's something there. Like a Hereditary is very good at doing it. There's something there and you just see it off in the distance, and that's the scare. Like it's not actually the jump scare shit. I think this movie is tailor made for that. but it just when it really comes to those moments where I think it really needs to stick the landing with the scares, it
Mhm.
opts for the jump scare, and I don't
Mhm.
appreciate it every
Yeah,
time.
agreed.
Fair enough. Yeah, I ain't never gonna complain about too many of the jump scares because there's a lot of films that I feel are way more scarier when they don't have a lot of jump scares actually, except for maybe like a couple. But
Yeah.
you know, this is definitely the age. This is Blumhouse. Like I know Morgan, you said last night that you were actually like kind of okay with that because you know you say Blumhouse puts out some good stuff. But truth be told, like I would say Blumhouse is definitely a studio that I'm like I feel like you guys are a little more reliant on jump scares sometimes rather than really freaking
I just
audiences
meant
out or someone
Blumhouse as
like
a
me
whole
out.
when I said that as
This
well,
is
not just with horror.
this is
Mhm.
also 2012 too when this came out, guys. This is still like Blumhouse in its infancy, but they were
Yeah.
putting out some bangers, and I would put this up there. You know, it's only through the lens of watching it 12 years later that I'm like, all right, there's some shit that doesn't stick out, but this, the first Insidious, fucking, they still had Paranormal Activity. God, what else did they have at the time? But putting out some
Uh,
hits.
Why does Blumhouse have Tooth Fairy under their name? The Rock Tooth Fairy movie? What?
When did that come out? Does it say?
2010.
Yeah, I remember that. I think I do vaguely remember that shit. And they also put out a
That's
lot of
hilarious.
stinkers. You know, they put out a lot of movies.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah, no,
definitely.
this is still early Blumhouse, and it's cool to go back and see the movies that they were taking chances on because that's all they were doing, just
Mhm.
taking chances on everything um because Blumhouse is or no Neil Blum is very much like I want to make movies for dirt cheap. That's it. I'll make anything, but you're only gonna make it for $5. So the fact that this came out for $3 million doesn't surprise me. But then you get a hit on your hands, and
In
that
the
that was
studio
their
gets greedy.
that was their whole operation. I think it still is, but I like the fact that they're upping the budget a little bit. Like it's 10, 20 million now, not necessarily 3.
Hmm. Anyway, so going back to I want to rewind actually because another thing that I actually like about it because I know you say it's a slow burn and you think it's kind of boring. I actually don't find it boring because I low-key really like horror that involves investigative crime reporting.
So
Actually,
I'm right there with you. So
I love 7. 7's not boring now.
like
I
I
like.
didn't find it boring because I really did like when we were getting the new, and all of a sudden a new thing would show up and he would get
Hmm.
more. Like I really liked being able to kind of uncover the larger case that he had and didn't realize he had. Um I don't know. I really enjoyed that, and I wanted more of that in a way. I almost wanted to be
Mhm.
like, I was like so annoyed, like, no, the evidence when he was burning it because I wanted to see the other shit. Maybe I'm just weird and morbid. I don't know. That's also possible. But
We both are probably.
but I did like it. Could it have been sped up a little bit and paced in some areas better? Yes. But when we were in the actual action of like uncovering the new mysteries, I was fine with the pacing and I loved it.
I like just the little stuff that we got to like how he discovered that one of the murders was taking place in St. Louis. Actually, like, wait, hang on, let me brighten this up. Then like, oh, so this is where this goes into. Like, okay, I got a location. I like that he relied on Deputy so like, listen, I got some info, but not a lot. Can you help me? Like, look, I know when this took place, and I think maybe it was either where it took place or the family name, but like one of those he does not have. Like, look, I need you to do some work here.
Yeah.
And then also the little moment where he realized, wait, one of these families lived in the house before where one of the other murders took place. And then the end reveal was like, this. I find this hilarious because, a lot of horror movies, you think when the house is haunted, when shit's going down, get out the fucking house. Simplest answer, right? But I low-key really like that this movie was like, no, if you leave, you're screwed. Like, you're done for.
Yeah.
So
That is
when
a
I
nice
first,
choice on that trope,
I love that. I first watched like, oh crap, oh no. I like how subtle his Ethan Hawke's performance is when he gets that news. It's like, oh god, like oh god, like still stick. Well, okay, what's his extended ending? But once Deputy so and so tells him that, you just look on his face and screams. He's trying not to panic out front, especially on the phone and stuff like that. But you see in his face, in his eyes, he's like, I think his heart skipped like 17 beats.
Yeah, he was panicking.
Yeah,
This
and I like
movie totally hinges on his performance.
Ethan Hawke's performance in this is really great. I really like Ethan Hawke in
He
this
did
movie.
do a phenomenal job. I will give him that. Like the things that I dislike about this movie aside, Ethan Hawke did a fantastic job with his material.
But yeah, also going back to the whole thing about investigative reporting, stuff like that, because I just remembered like this movie. I actually kind of think about the movie The Ring as well, actually, because if I'm really thinking about it, Luke, something you said like nothing happens in this movie. I can sort of also say sometimes nothing much happens in The Ring either.
I'm not that big of a fan of The Ring.
Oh, really?
The Japanese one I love. You know?
Funny enough, I don't love the Japanese one.
Also, not all slow burn movies are created equal. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
I don't get me wrong. I love a slow burn. I love Hereditary. I love slow burn movies, but like, you got to give me something.
I think it depends on the slow burn, honestly, because some slow burns work more than others, and some just like, okay, just get on with it.
100%. I do too. This is one of those movies. And again, I really enjoy the first bits of the movie, the atmosphere, the investigating, Ethan Hawke's performance, the mood. I actually do like that it is kind of dark because I think it adds to the tension of like, where is Bagul at? He could be anywhere.
Funny
And
enough,
they frame up shots to make you think he might be in the background. They do frame up some shots like that. I like that shit.
Funny enough, I never quite complained about the darkness because if you really think about it, like, you know, all these dark scenes you guys were talking about, nothing's actually really happening other than him looking. And you do see what he finds when he finds it. So I'm like, I don't really care that I can't see him just looking room to room.
I think
it's not Alien versus Predator Requiem bad, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're supposed to see stuff, and that movie's too dark for you to be able to see stuff.
Yeah, but when we need to see something in this film, we see it. You see the scorpion, you see the snake, you can see the dog, you can see the ghost kids, you see what you need to. But when there's nothing there, you're like, okay, like I'm not really gonna get mad about it, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree. The movie does deserve a lot of credit for that. So, I do enjoy that stuff. It's just really seriously once they reveal his name to me, and that's when I go, you gotta be kidding me. This is the best we could do. This is this infinite, like darkness creature's name. The eater of children is named Bagul, and I actually would have liked it if they would just kept it with Mr. Boogie or whatever.
I'm not sure. I mean, this is all personal. Like, I really don't. I just
it
like
doesn't bother me.
It doesn't either. I think it's just a Luke thing, and that's fine.
After that, I can't take him seriously. He already like you were saying. You're already up here saying he looks like Michael Jackson, and he's just a dude with some long hair, a white face, and a suit. Like he kind of looks like Jack Skellington.
Also likes children,
and also likes children. Like we're just showing how unscary this character is, and they double down on it in the sequel. But like this character is not scary. So once you get past that, it's just a movie of Ethan Hawke just kind of looking around.
I have to disagree because I mean the first time and even to this day I still find Bagul quite creepy, particularly in the first film again because we don't see that much of him.
He's creepy in the Super 8 films. He is not creepy in the house.
That is definitely the most creepy because you're like watching like what the hell is that?
Yeah, he's just standing menacingly.
And then like when you rewatch everything, it's like shit, he's there too. But when you do see him in IRL, so again, it's not as much, but I think it's effective. Like he's looking at the picture, like, wait, is that him in the freaking bush? I thought that was effective. I mean, we see him move in the picture in the the laptop, but you know, Ethan Hawke's character doesn't. So he's like, oh, whatever.
I have a recent thing to compare it to.
What's that?
Long Legs. Nick Cage's character is very off-putting until I see what he looks like. Then he just looks silly. And it's hard for me to take him that seriously after that. This character is menacing as fuck until I hear his name. And then I'm like, all right, I can't take you as seriously. I'm sorry. It's just me.
Real quick, sorry to interrupt, gentlemen, but I just want to say to Chad, thank you, Man DeMay 1822 for the follow.
Hey.
Well, please continue.
I like the way you said that.
That's awesome. Did we stop streaming on YouTube, by the way?
No, if you there was a quick buffer in the very beginning. But if you go back and retry again, it works fine.
On my YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Anyway,
that happened for me as well. Freaked me out. But yeah, no, I think this movie is good. It's better than the next one, but
definitely,
I think we should have just left it here because it does tell a really nice, tight story. And it's very moody. It's very atmospheric. Scott Derrickson definitely knows what he's doing when it comes to a horror film. I have similar feelings about The Black Phone. That is also a Scott Derrickson, Ethan Hawke film. I like that movie as well, but I still could have some of the same
I've
gripes.
still never had the
particularly with
chance to see it.
I will.
I might even have the same critique if we decide we want to review it and I watch it again. That not that much really happens, but I think that movie is, and again, I got to watch it again, but I think the movie is more effective at not making me feel bored because there isn't that much that happens, but it's a better made, not that much happens.
Mm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. But yeah, I'm still on the boat of like I really like Sinister. I like Bagul. I mean, I know you can't see. There you go.
Oh, you call Michael Jackson. That's even worse.
I mean, look, I just make jokes about shit. Okay, I'm gonna make jokes about a lot of things that I watch. Okay,
That's
like,
fair. Fair.
Mhm.
But like, we can make all the jokes about like a Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees, all these other characters, and they can still be pretty fucking scary. You know what I mean? This character, I feel like the jokes that we're making just completely take the rug right out from under him.
I don't full on see that because I'm making the jokes and stuff like that. I'm like, I still think he's menacing and creepy as fuck. It's typically in the first film, and only some moments in the second film, but depends on which moments they are, honestly. Because I think Sinister 2 suffers the issue of we see more of him, so I think some of his menace is gone.
He's just a slasher villain in the second one.
Not even that. Like he's just more there. He's not killing no one. He's more of I'm here to spook you and stuff like that. But
yeah, well, all right, fine. They opt for the jump scare shit, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's
more
the thing.
Is not more.
Yep. Sometimes the quote Akira Toriyama when he talked about Final Form Frieza, less is more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So other than that, we haven't really talked much about the actual home videos actually too, because I think that provides some pretty good atmosphere, especially the soundtrack.
Oh, I love
the
it.
creepiest parts of it. Oh yeah, the soundtrack is fucking on point, and without it, I don't think this movie is nearly as good as any of us think it is. But the Super 8 footage is great. I mean, it's got that really gritty feel, and they're killed in ways that seem real. They're very well done. They are the highlight of the movie, without a doubt.
Oh, absolutely. I'll also say the pool party one, behind the scenes fact, because I was Dead Meat, James A. Janice actually did cover Sinister 1. I don't remember if he covered Sinister 2. But fun fact about that one actually is that they had divers at the bottom of the pool to give the people who are strapped to the chairs air. And then Nick King, who plays Bagul, actually wore weighted shoes, so he'd sink to the bottom, and also had to be given air down there too.
Got to be down there for a minute because that water is very still in the beginning of that scene, so he's already got to like be in there. I assume.
Yeah, wow. These were done practically, so credit to where credit is due.
Seriously, they're the highlight of the movie, man. They just an old school Super 8 camera, no sound, and they're like, let's just fucking do this, man. I'm glad that they planned it as well as they did, because things could have went so wrong with all these things. But well done.
I also got to say too, this is a weird criticism I have, but the point where the film reveals it's the children who's been killing the families and stuff, their little always bothered me for some reason, but actually this was the most creepiest one.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's such a weird criticism. Like, why y'all look so stupid when you do that?
Okay, and that again is why I can't just they look dumb when they do it.
But I think somehow the kids made up for that stupid little moment.
Stop!
So I feel like they looked better doing it when they had like the creepy makeup on than when we got them without the makeup on.
And makeup sucked.
I was okay with it. I
didn't hate the makeup. It wasn't
slowly
great,
consuming their soul. I'm like, hey, that makes sense. Slowly consuming their soul. They looking more what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, deteriorating and stuff like that.
Deteriorated, yeah.
Exactly. I like the end where she's actually filming her work on the walls and stuff like that, and then the kids just show up and they just all slowly look over at her. I like that there's no dialogue or anything like that. Something that Sinister 2 completely ruined.
Well, they take the whole atmosphere out of it, right? Why did people find this to be scary? All they think Bagul and the jump scares is scary. All right, let's double down on that.
Exactly.
I said we weren't gonna fucking review the second one. That's all I've been doing.
We just kind of bring it up from time to time. I'm just like again.
That's pretty much it.
I'm mostly reviewing Sinister 2 in a way. Like again, I don't hate the film, but it's not good.
Yeah.
Well, stop reviewing the second one because you're reviewing the first one.
Fair enough, fine, but I just kind of got to bring it up just because. I guess some of the stuff we could criticize it. So I'm like, hey, I mean, look at Sinister 2. Like you can look at this one like, masterpiece.
No, this is a good movie. This is a good movie to study. I feel like if you're an aspiring filmmaker, just to really take a good look at what you can do with no money. Because this movie is, again, the atmosphere is done really well. It's got a really nice idea of a script. It makes very good use of the of the lighting, because even though there are some dark fucking scenes, as we've stated, when it doesn't need to be dark, it's not, and that does work. You got to get yourself some really good fucking actors as well. Some really good actors to be in something like this, because if they're not, if Ethan Hawke isn't in this role, I don't think this is entertaining to watch.
Maybe so. Well, I actually agree with you on hell. Watch some of the cheaper films to get more inspired and learn about filmmaking. Hell, Sinister, Godzilla -1. Look how inspiring that is to us too.
For real. Yeah, honestly, you can do a lot with a little. You just got to know what you're doing. This movie definitely knows what it's doing. The things that I don't like just have to do with the whole overarching villain. That's all. But otherwise, just from a movie standpoint, watchability, yeah, I like this movie.
All right, then.
Scott Derrickson will probably go down as one of my favorite directors, because I haven't watched anything with him that I don't like. I do like this. I love the first Doctor Strange. I like the Black Phone. Like, the dude's very good, and he's a hell of a writer.
Oh, I just learned he did Deliver Us from Evil. Which that was that what's that dude's name?
Neat.
Is that Eric Bana movie?
Yeah.
Ah, yes, I remember that movie.
Yeah, he's a police officer and he's battling demons in a high rise or some shit.
I gotta watch that movie.
I mean,
I think
I've added it to the list.
Well.
All right.
Anything else, gentlemen, before we give our ratings?
I think we're good. We're just gonna probably go in circles, just arguing if that Bagul's cool or not cool.
He's not cool.
He's cool.
Anyway, Dreaded, since this is like a loved film for you, what do you rate it?
This is an 8.5 out of 10 for me. I like this movie a lot. I've liked it since it first came out. And it is one of the films, like, when I talk to someone about horror films, I always like, have you seen Sinister? Like, it is one of my favorites. Especially of a modern age, especially with horror films not always doing it for me. Some will do, most don't. Some are just decent enough to watch. But, yeah, this one is a standout for the 2010s, at least, which I think was a pretty weak timeline for horror. I could be wrong.
I would call it the era of Blumhouse, though, for sure.
Absolutely. And I mean, Blumhouse put out its bangers and stuff like that, but I do feel like this is one of those cases where I think Blumhouse puts out its bangers, put out these good movies, but not necessarily always do they put out scary movies. Like, sometimes you want to be scared. You want to kind of sleep with the light on or something like that, or just like, let me put some cartoons on after this. Hell, I had to watch cartoons after Longlegs.
That one was close. That one was close for me. I'll give you that. But yeah, and you want to know why it was close? Because I saw Jack Nicholson's face in that movie, and I went, all right, I'm done. Can't take you seriously.
All right. But yeah, 8.5 out of 10 for me. I love Sinister.
Do you want to?
It's a 6 for me. It's solid. I call it a base hit. I know at the time it came out and was a massive hit, and it makes complete sense because they made it for like no money. I appreciate what it is. But yeah, watching it now at this stage of my life, I can definitely look at it and go, there's some shit in here that is just too much. Particularly the name of the fucking monster.
What would you name him? What would you name him then?
I'm done. I don't know, because he's based off like a real deity, isn't he? Like, that's literally his name. That is
I don't think so.
That is actually a thing. I think Bagul is for real a thing. Quick double check.
I'm doing that right now.
All I get is Sinister. I don't see anything based off anything for real.
Okay. Well, then we got to workshop that, because his design is not all that creepy either. He's just a dude in a suit. I think this is a very overhyped film, but it is good.
All right, and then.
So, yes. They specifically a Babylonian deity, which Vincent does say. I have sources being pulled up that if you like search it different ways, it does confirm that it is considered to be a real demon.
So there's some lore behind him in real life, but his whole name and his whole design, I just go, I can't really get behind it. He's not all that scary to me. The jump scares, all right, cool. He definitely pops up and ooh, there he is in my face. Michael Jackson is saying hello. But yeah.
He.
Yeah, exactly.
Just it looks like that Bagul though is not the actual name of that demon. It was changed for the movies.
That's even worse. So yeah, I have a very love-hate relationship with him in that I love the movie, but I hate him. And hey, the movie's still very solid. 6.
Well, I'm going to give it a 6.5. I watched it for the first time in 2024, and I think that's probably the biggest downside this film gets for me is I'm seeing it 12 years late. And I do really like the atmosphere, and I think the atmosphere is further heightened by the performance we get from Ethan Hawke. I love this more detective investigative style behind it. I am a sucker for paranormal things, so like paranormal investigating is something I love. I almost wish we dived deeper into the investigative side than what we already were. There's, as I have already stated in this show, this episode, that there are many plot points that I wish were different or more like tuned in on, like the use of the children. But in all, like, I don't think this is an awful film. I don't think it's a great film. I do think it's well done, but I think it could have been also done better.
Yeah,
All right.
I stand by like the black phone. Seriously, we should do this at some point.
Sure.
The black phone is kind of the same overall concept. It's got the detective stuff. It's got the whole monster with the children thing. It's filmed. It's got a similar feel to it. I think it's done better. Just on that.
Okay.
I'm down.
All right.
Well, everybody, that's our movie review of the 2012 Sinister.
Good movie. Good movie.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. Everybody, I'm Morgan, that's Zook, and that's Dread, and we're your hosts of the Wannabes podcast. We want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. And before you head out, we want to remind you that if you're not following here on Twitch, please give us a follow. And if you're not subscribing over on YouTube, please go subscribe to us on YouTube as well, because we are now officially live on both YouTube and Twitch every Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So you can watch us at your leisure from anywhere in your home, whichever way is easiest to tune into us, whether it's on a TV, computer, phone, whatever your heart desires. And on top of that, you can watch us on the go, or listen to us on the go by listening to our podcast that release every Tuesday at 11 a.m. So yeah, there's things that are happening, guys. We're super excited to be making the waves we're making, and you can also find us over on TikTok. And make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter on top of that by searching up Podcast Wanna, because we'll show up, and that way you know when we're going live, what we're reviewing, and yeah, it's a good thing to stay in touch with us.
If you don't, I'm gonna send some people to your house to make you subscribe. Candyman. One more. Y'all better do it. And just make sure Beetlejuice. The OG Candyman. Oh crap!
Yeah, have we done the original?
Not the original. We
No.
did the 2021 movie.
We might need to fuck around and do that because it's a classic. I love doing some classics during Halloween. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
We got our schedule zipped up, so that's done. By the way, follow all the socials so you can see the schedule.
We can also announce it now, if you want. Do you want me to announce it now?
Yeah, do it.
We're good.
Yeah, so obviously today we are doing Sinister, but next week on October 9th, we are going to be reviewing the new Joker film coming out with Lady Gaga. We are going to, on the 16th, do another throwback film, which is Hatchet. That was either 2006 or 2007.
2007.
6.
Is it 6?
It's 6.
All right, I was listening to Morgan on that one. It's 6.
Amazon Prime said 7.
It's 6.
Okay. So then we have on Wednesday, October 23rd, we're going to be watching the Netflix original film Tarot that was just released this year. And then we're going to wrap up October on October 30th with the long-awaited Venom 3: The Last Dance.
No.
Tune in, get excited. Yeah. And actually, this is kind of good. So now you can get prepared and join in the conversation because we're letting you know ahead of time. Whereas normally it's like the day before because we don't even know. But we know now.
Yeah.
We know.
And this is a format we're hoping to do every month for you all. That way you know all month what we're hoping to catch and review on the show. That way you can watch it as well and be in the loop.
For the record, Hatchet was released at a film festival in 2006. It was just theatrical release in 2007. That's what it
Okay,
is.
so both answers were correct.
Everybody's a winner. That's a
Yeah.
great way to
Everyone's the
end.
winner.
Winner,
Yeah.
winner, chicken dinner.
I can't wait to review Hatchet. That I'm just telling y'all now. That movie's fucking hilarious.
I've never
It's
seen
so
Hatchet.
funny.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good time. Just I'm gonna let you and your buzzkill Daniel know right now. Just fucking go into it with low expectations and have a good time. Just get some popcorn, kick back, and just fucking laugh at it. That's all you got to do.
Noted. All right, everybody.
yeah.
We're the Wannabes Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you follow us anywhere that you can find us, because we greatly appreciate your support. But until next time, y'all, have a good night, and don't forget the popcorn.
See you guys next week.
See you
Yeah,
next
Luke, you
week
made me
for
say Candyman
Joker.
5 times. What the hell, man?
I did make you do nothing.
Yes, you did.
Nope. You know what?
Yes, you
Have
did.
fun.
What's next? You're gonna make me say Beetlejuice again? And I'm pretty sure it's been a minute since I've said the first two, so I'm good.